Hello viewers, welcome to another segment of Uncut Africa Live, a program that brings you insight of African politics. I'm still your guy, De-Graft Amoako. In December 2016, a tsunami swept off Ghana politics, which is an opposition leader ousted a certain president just after one term of his government. This has never happened in the Fourth Republic of Ghana politics. In 7 January 2017, just after the sworn-in of the current president, Nana Akufo-Addo, he introduced his government policies. And one of the policies, which was well trumpeted, was Ghana Beyond Aid. This message was well received by every African, and they applaud him for this. For more reference, let's take time and watch this video. It's a little longer, but let's have time and watch this video and I will be back.
I think there is a fundamental misstatement of the issue in the question. We can no longer continue to make policy for ourselves, in our country, in our region, in our continent, on the basis of whatever support the Western world or France or the European Union can give us. It will not work. It has not worked and it will not work. Our responsibility is to charter a path which is about how we can develop our nations ourselves. It is not right for a country like Ghana, 60 years after independence, to still have its health and education budgets being financed on the basis of the generosity and charity of European taxpayers. By now, we should be able to finance our basic needs ourselves. And if we are going to look at the next 60 years as a period of transition, a period whereby we can stand on our own feet, our perspective has not to be what the French taxpayer decides to do with whatever surpluses that they have in France. They're welcome. They're appreciated. Whatever interventions that the French taxpayer through their governments make to us are appreciated. We're not going to lick a gift horse in the mouth. But this continent, with all that has happened, is still today the repository of at least 30% of the most important minerals of the world.
I love how uncomfortable the French president is standing. He don't seems to be comfortable with the message. Let's continue.
It is a continent of vast, arable and fertile lands. It has the youngest population of any of the continents in the world. So it has the energy and the dynamism. We've seen it. These young men who are showing so much resilience and ingenuity in crossing the Sahara, finding ways to go across with rickety boats across the Mediterranean to really, those energies, we want to have those energies working inside our countries. And we're going to have those energies working in our countries if we begin to build systems that tell the young people of our country that their hopes, their opportunity are right here with us. Migration and the movement of people is being presented in a manner which suggests that somehow it's a new phenomenon. There's nothing new about it. It's as old as man, the movement of people. And it has always been linked to the same thing. The failure of where you are to provide you with an opportunity, so you move somewhere else. Those of you who are familiar with 19th century European history would know that the biggest wave of immigration in 19th century Europe, the latter part of it, came from Ireland and from Italy. Waves upon waves, generations of Italians and the Irish people left their countries to seek the American paradise, largely because Ireland was not working, Italy was not working. Today, you don't hear it. Italian young people are in Italy. Irish young people are in Ireland. We want young Africans to stay in Africa.
The man is speaking facts, he's speaking facts. But it seems our leaders knows our problems. The leaders understand the African problems. So why are we here? Why are we here? Let's continue.
And how are they? And it means that we have to get away from this mindset of dependence. This mindset about what can France do for us. France will do whatever it needs to do for its own sake. And when those coincide with ours, tant mieux, as the French people say. But our main responsibility as leaders, as citizens, is what we need to do to grow our own countries. What are the institutions that work, that would allow us to have good governance, to have accountable governance, to make sure that the monies that are placed at the disposal of leaders are used for the interests of the state and not for those of the leaders, to have systems that allow for accountability, that allow for diversity, that allow for people to be able to express themselves and contribute to fashioning the public will and the public interest. Our concern should be with what do we need to do in this 21st century to move Africa away from being cap in hand and begging for aid, for charity, for handouts. The African continent, when you look at its resources, should be giving monies to other places. We have huge wealth on this continent, in our own country of Ghana. And we need to have a mindset that says, we can do it. Others have done it. We can also do it. And once we have that mindset, we will see it as a liberating factor for ourselves. We keep talking about how it was that Koreans, Malaysians, Singaporeans, who got their independence at the same time as us. We're told of that at the time of Ghanaian independence, per capita Ghanaian income was higher than that of Korea. Today, Korea is part of the first world. So is Malaysia. So is Singapore. What happened? Why did they make that transition? And 60 years after independence, we are where we are. Those are the matters that should concern all of us as Africans, as Ghanaians. And not, when I say so with the greatest of respect to the French president, I think that the cooperation of France is something that I am, as you know, a strong friend of France. I am Francophile, so I don't have any difficulty with that. But I'm talking about our own propulsion, what we need to do to get our countries to work so that we can create the conditions that would allow our young people to forego this hazardous effort to get to Europe. They're not going there because they want to. They're going there because they don't believe they have any opportunities in our countries. So that should be our focus. And I believe that with that if we change that mindset of dependence, that mindset which is contingent on aid and charity, we would see that in the decades ahead of us, the full flowering of the African peoples would take place. And that new African personality that was talked about at the time of our independence will become real and imminent in our times. That's what I'm saying. I hope that I'm not upsetting the questioner or even some of my friends who are here. But these are my strongly held beliefs. And that is the reason why I've adopted as the slogan of my presidency, of my period in the Supreme Office of Ghana, that we want to build a Ghana beyond aid. A Ghana which is independent, which is self-sufficient, that is capable of standing on its own feet and building its own life. We can do it if we have the correct mindset to do so. Mr. President, those are my contributions.
That was an interesting speech from the Ghana president. And this video is actually 5 years old. Just 2 weeks ago, Ghana is back in the IMF program just because of $3 billion. So I'm always asking, it seems African leaders, it's all about speeches, but there is no action. There is no action. I don't understand why the president said in his own speech that Africa has everything. We have everything, like from raw materials to entrepreneurs to talents. We have everything in this continent, but at the end of the day, we end up running from our own continent to different countries to go and seek for greener pasture. It's a very sad story because African youth now don't believe in Africa again, because they sometimes feel our leaders has disappointed us. This is a Ghanaian leader who has been in politics for a very long time and understand the world politics. He got opportunity to be the president of a country with large resources from gold, diamond, oil, cocoa, timber. With all these resources, and we still go back to IMF, and you think this is something that makes sense? This doesn't make sense. We can't continue begging. What happened to the Ghana Beyond Aid? We beg before eating. The new leaders should change their way of doing things. Please, you can leave your comment in the comment section and I'll reply you. Don't also forget to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification button so that anytime I'll upload any great content, you will be notified. Thanks for watching.